Hi guys, Larissa with BeCozi.net is here. Today I will show you how to make this beautiful baby cocoon. And I don't have children to make a picture of this cocoon, so I will use this stuffed animal to show you how it will look like. So this is something that you can make for a newborn baby or a little bit older baby with our BeCozi chunky knit chenille yarn. It's very soft, bulky, and it will be very nice and beautiful, and your child will be very warm. So you will need 2 skeins of chunky chenille yarn, and I will show you how to do it in the next part of my video. You can buy chunky chenille yarn at BeCozi.net or in our Etsy store, BeCozi on Etsy. Let's do it. Let's get started. We will need to, first of all, as I was showing before, you're making a knot on the end of every of the ends for your chunky chenille yarn. That prevents it from unraveling. Make a tight knot and then cut close to the chenille yarn. This way it will be holding nicely. Now we will need to cast on 16 stitches. So make a loop, insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. This is our first stitch. You make it smaller or bigger. We will be making it about 1.5 to 2 inches big. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it through. You have 2. Now we're making a chain, and this chain will have 16 stitches. 16 stitches will give us 30 inches, and because we will be making it our project will be 15 inches wide, but it will be folded in 2. That's why it should be 30. So this is our chain. Let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So the whole chain is done the same way. Insert your hand inside the stitch, grab working yarn and pull it out. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. So now we have 16 stitches. Turn your chain on the other side, and now we will be knitting our first row or pulling stitches through. This is your first stitch. You're leaving it here, and now we'll be using these knots in the middle of the chain, as I usually suggest. When using this knot, you're lifting it, grabbing working yarn and pull it out. Here's another knot in the middle of the stitch. Lift it, grab working yarn, pull it through the knot. Here's another knot. See, these knots are always in the middle. They're not on the top, bottom, they're in the middle. This is what you're using, and the reason why you're using knots, because that will make a beautiful chain on the bottom. So we're pulling through the first row by lifting a knot, grabbing working yarn, pull it out. Knot, insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. Do it to all 16 stitches. Here's our first row is done. Now we will be making the next row. The working yarn goes the same direction we will be knitting. We will be knitting to the right, so working yarn goes here. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. So you can see this beautiful stitches made by this hand knitting way, which I created 2 years ago, almost 2.5 actually. because I was not a big fan of arm knitting. I prefer hand knitting, which is my way of knitting with bulky yarns. So anyway, here is our second row, and now we, as usual, I am skipping first stitch. And again, the reason I'm skipping the first stitch, because I want this beautiful chain to be on the side, and that's how it will be created. So this is our second stitch. Insert your fingers or hand inside, grab working yarn, pull it out, and do the same technique to all your next stitches of this third row. And as I said, it's 16 stitches. It will give you about 30 inches width, because we will be folding this project in two. It will be about 15 inches wide. So now the next row, again, we will be skipping the first stitch. It's very easy. Some people saying it's confusing. It's very easy, actually. You just leave it here and go to the next stitch and start knitting it. So now we will be knitting for 10 rows, and then I will come back and show you what to do next. Okay guys, so we have 11 rows done, and now let's do the rest of this project. So what we are doing, we have 16 stitches on this baby cocoon, and what we're doing now, we are casting off 8 of these 16 stitches. So take 2 stitches together and knit them together in one, add another one on your hand, so you have 2, pull working yarn through, and you knitted 2 more. The same way, stitch on your hand, add another one, pull working yarn through, and the same way. Keep casting off this way until you have 8 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1 more stitch to make to cast off. So now we have 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 stitches left. What we are doing next, we keep knitting these 8 stitches. This part that cast off, you just keep it here, and we will be knitting this part that left for about 5 rows. So this is the row that we are not considering a row, because it was here with cast off row. So 5 more rows. Again, we are skipping the first one, going to the next. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. 5 rows, and then I will show you what to do next to make this knitting project into baby cocoon. So this is our row second, and when I am done with row number 5, I will come back and show you to do what to do next. Okay, here we are. I actually made 6 rows, because it actually depends how open you want to have the cocoon for the baby's face. So anyway, now we will be casting off this 8 stitches. Take 2 stitches together, grab working yarn, pull it out. Your fingers or hand has this 1 stitch, add another one, grab working yarn, pull it through 2, add another stitch, grab working yarn, pull it through 2, add another stitch, and this way you will cast off all 8 stitches like that. Okay, I lifted my camera a little bit high that you would see the whole project, so that's how it looks like. Now we are folding it together, and the chain part is our face part, so we are folding it like that. You see, this is our cocoon, and here is the top part of it. So we cast off all the stitches, and we left this one stitch. We didn't finish this part. Why? Because we will need to connect this top part together. How we will do it? So take this first stitch and last stitch, pull them together, and then now you have 2 stitches on your hand. You grab working yarn and pull it through these 2 stitches. So you're connecting the top this way. Now turn it a little bit on the side and keep doing the same way. You have 1 stitch, grab 1 stitch from this side and 1 from this side, and you will have now 3 stitches on your hand like that, and pull working yarn through to have just 1 stitch. Then again 1 stitch from here, 1 from here to connect, and put it on your fingers and grab working yarn, pull it through these 3 stitches. See, this way you're connecting it, and you can connect it on the top, or you can go on the bottom and do it inside. So let's actually show you how to do it inside. To do it inside, not to have the connection on the top, you would connect this like that. So this is the inner part of the cocoon. You connect it, then put it on the side. You have 1 stitch left from our casting off stitches, and now you're taking 1 stitch from one side and 1 from another, and this stitch, so you have 3 on your finger. Grab working yarn, pull it through 3 stitches. You have 1 left. Keep it on your fingers, grab 1 from here, 1 from here, add it. You have 3 stitches. Grab working yarn, pull it through. And the last one, 1 from this side and 1 from the opposite side, and add this 2 to the stitch you have on your finger. Grab working yarn and pull it through. So this way, as you can see, we connected the top of the hood. So now you can actually cut this end, and when you're cutting chenille, always make a knot on the end, so you secure that it wouldn't be unraveling, and take this end and pull it through the last stitch like that. Now tuck it in between stitches and hide it, that it wouldn't be seen. Here you go. Now you can turn it inside out, and this is the top of your hood. So it's almost done. So what we will need to do now, as you can see, we have our hood ready, and we have the body of cocoon ready. What we need to do now, we need to connect this part. And to connect this part, I would fold it together from inside, put it on the side that like that you could see, and then take a piece of the yarn to connect it. You will need a piece about a little bit longer than this side. You can cut it and again make a knot on one end, cut it, and then make a knot on the other to prevent unraveling. Cut it close, and now you have this piece that will connect our sides. So take one piece, go from inside out, and then this piece from inside out, this part. Then make a knot, and now we will be using this piece to connect the rest. And then this end of the knitting and this end of connecting yarn, you will make a knot together. You can make one knot, or you can make two knots to have it secured, but one knot usually is sufficient for chenille yarn. Now again, from inside out, in the next stitch, insert the yarn, and then go to another side from inside out, and then keep connecting this way, using a stitch on the side, one stitch on one side and one stitch on another side. You can do it from inside or from outside, it's up to you. And here's the last stitch, and then make a knot from this last stitch, connecting it to the stitch on the opposite side, and secure this knot. So this is what we have now. Now you can turn this part inside out, and you can do the same here, connecting the end of it. You can keep it open, you can make it closed, it's up to you. So here's what we have. This is our